everyone, what is good? Welcome back to the channel. This is Silver Hyena, and what I've got for today's video is I'm finally gonna see what this is all about. Now then, this is something that I had gotten from Ross, only like $4, which is pretty good considering this is a pretty stacked looking watercolor set. We've got 18 watercolor cakes, 5 5x7 watercolor papers, although considering some of the luck I've had with paper that comes in kits like these, I'm not counting on it, but it might surprise me, And it also comes with paintbrushes, a pencil sharpener, eraser, and I love how they list the tin box on the sheet here, and it's like, gosh, I hope so. And then one instruction sheet that I never really use. Anyways, there we go. Didn't really want to open. There we go. Here's the inside. It looks pretty nice. Oh boy. Anyways, okay, that feels like really cheap, flimsy wood, but we've got a flat and a very small round. I've been collecting quite a few erasers like this as of late, and it's a cheap pencil sharpener, but hopefully it works. And as you can see, there's also a palette in the tray, which they didn't list that, and like this is like a major perk. I did bring this out just in case, but might not need it. Then again, I might, so forget I said anything. And then we have the forbidden candies, which seriously, these do look like some sort of hard candy, but don't actually eat them. Like they're not Smarties, they're not Squaries. Just don't eat the paint, please. Anyways, I think it's time to see if this was worth the $4 I spent. If anything else, I can always keep the tin. Okay, first things first, this paper, or what they call paper. Okay. Okay, oh, I guess they call it an inspiration sheet. I guess that... wait a minute. There's nothing written on the back. It's just... I guess it's just showing you what other people have done with it, I guess? Okay. And this paper... Let's pull out a sheet. Yeah, it's... But it does at least feel better than this atrocity, if you'll recall this. Now let me just pull one of these out. Maybe if the stickies will let me. Okay, yeah, here. Let's compare. Okay, yeah, this basically feels like some slightly textured printer paper. This one, it's smaller, like you can clearly see, and it actually feels heavier. So, while it doesn't necessarily feel like the greatest watercolor paper, I think, like, it could work. Maybe. We'll find out. I hope. So, if I was to sum up these paints, first impression, I would say that inconsistent might be a word I would use. Like some of these, like they just look kind of blasé, kind of standard cheap watercolor. Others like I want to call it black, but it's more of a gray, a very splotchy gray. But then it's like this darker pink here. I mean, like that's like almost gouache. And so is this purple. Plus it's like this purple has, like you can clearly see there's some muddled blue in there. And it's like, and I had rinsed off the brush pretty dang good. So that's just cheap paint separating. But I guess, what can I expect for, $4? Yeah, I kind of expected something like this. It's like, overall it seems like the colors are okay. Like I would definitely say that black is the weak link. I still want to see what all I can do with this. It's like, I think I can do something. Like I think I've worked with worse. I've worked with better, but I've worked with worse. And just, yeah, I'm having a difficult time finding words to describe these just because I think they really have to be used. Luckily in the rinse water, I don't see any particles or flecks, which is good because I've gotten that from cheap watercolors before, and I don't know what it is, but it just, there's something about seeing flecks in the paint water that just makes me, like, it doesn't make me happy. It's not a good time. Anyways, I think I want to tape down one of these pieces of paper to my clipboard just to keep it from sliding all over the place, because even with just this very light amount of watercolor I used here, it is buckling up, and I plan on putting a few layers on this, but maybe once I'm done trying out these watercolors, I'll use them again on better quality paper just to, like, you know, really make sure. But it is only $4, and considering that's how much I paid for my little pan set of Crayola, yeah, my Crayola watercolors, don't buy your Crayola watercolors at Joann's, I'll just put it that way. Yeah, okay, I'm rambling now. Let's just get going. Okay, for the sample sketch, I wanted to do something quick and easy so I could get to the painting. So I thought, hey, I haven't done a phoenix in a hot while, and that's how this happened. As for the paints themselves, I wanted to love them so badly, especially when you take into consideration of the sheer utility this little kit comes with. You've got a good selection of colors, a brush, a sketching pencil, an eraser, a pencil sharpener, a mixing palette. I mean, this bad boy is fully loaded and ready to go. But the paints themselves are what kind of threw me through a bit of a loop. The quality, or lack thereof, really shows. Still, I remained determined to do something worthwhile with these things in order to showcase those beautiful, vibrant colors that we see on the surface. I really do enjoy the colors themselves. Could you tell? So usually my brain goes straight to the rainbow gradient in cases like this. After all, it's been said before on this channel, but I'll say it again. We love gradients. Plus, there's just something about a regal and tough-looking creature of fantasy, legend, and myth than just slapping a rainbow on it and calling it a day. My other major concern was the paper that came in this kit. Again, I use the term paper very loosely.
After only about 2 layers, maybe 3, I was worried that it was gonna give out on me. I mean, what is the point of watercolor paper that can't hold up to, well, water? In my experience thus far, it seems as though only the Spectrum Noir kits came with any halfway decent paper in them. And I'm only counting actual kits, not any of those subscription art boxes or things like them. Granted, I would just die at this point to get into those. I swear the art subscription boxes are some of my personal favorite videos to watch. Oh my gosh, I love them so much. Anyways, yeah, I have not really had much luck when it comes to paper out of kits, except for you, Spectrum Noir. Stay amazing. One thing that I've noticed as sort of a trend among cheap watercolors, especially from unheard of brands like this one, they tend to be filled with what I can only describe as chalk. This chalkiness, sometimes like sawdust. It's the same issue that I had with Artist's Loft watercolor pans. It's just unpleasant. It makes a texture I just don't like. I don't like chalk in my watercolors. Let watercolors be watercolors and let chalk be chalk. Okay? Like, that's... It just... No. Just no. However, despite all of the shortcomings that I've mentioned, I still managed to have fun with this set. And for $4 at Ross, what can you really ask for? Aside from a few sheets of decent quality paper. Well, then again, the tin is nice. You can always gut these paints and just fill it up with your own paints and have a happy day.
Alrighty, so overall thoughts on these paints? Well, they're cheap. I'm not gonna lie. However, did I have fun with them? Yes. Yes, I did.
And you know, something I've said many, many times on this channel is that sometimes just having fun can be the most important thing. I mean, like, yes, these paints, they're not what I would call good. They separate. Like, they dry funny. They do have that kind of chalky residue. I'm hoping it didn't ruin my pens, but, yeah, I'll have to see about that. Like, it's, like, they call them watercolors, but in some cases it's much more like wash. But I had fun. Like, I was enjoying using them. However, if I was to give them a numerical rating, I would say maybe about a 5 out of 10, just because they're not the greatest watercolors in the world, but they are somewhat usable. And I do like the whole package. You get 2 brushes, you get a pencil, you get an eraser, you get a sharpener, and a palette. So it's like the whole package is pretty nice, especially for only $4. It's like you've only really got to supply your water cups at this point. But with all that being said, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And with that being said, stay creative, everybody. Bye!